Tuesday of the first week of Advent.
A reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah. On that day a shoot shall sprout from the stump of Jesse, and from his roots a bud shall blossom. The Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, a spirit of wisdom and of understanding, a spirit of counsel and of strength, a spirit of knowledge and of fear of the Lord. And his delight shall be the fear of the Lord. Not by appearance shall he judge, nor by hearsay shall he decide, but he shall judge the poor with justice, and decide aright for the land's afflicted. He shall strike the ruthless with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he shall slay the wicked. Justice shall be the band around his waist, and faithfulness a belt upon his hips. Then the wolf shall be a guest of the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid. The calf and the young lion shall browse together, with the little child to guide them. The cow and the bear shall be neighbors, together their young shall rest. The lion shall eat hay like the ox. The baby shall play by the cobra's den, and the child lay his hand on the adder's lair. There shall be no harm or ruin on all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be filled with knowledge of the Lord, as water covers the sea. On that day, the root of Jesse, set up as a signal for the nations, the Gentiles shall seek out, for his dwelling shall be glorious. The word of the Lord.
The psalm response, justice shall flourish in his time and fullness of peace forever. O God, with your judgment endow the king, and with your justice the king's son. He shall govern your people with justice, and your afflicted ones with judgment. Justice shall flourish in his time, and fullness of peace forever. Justice shall flower in his days, and profound peace till the moon be no more. May he rule from sea to sea, and from the river to the ends of the earth. Justice shall flourish in his time, and fullness of peace forever. He shall rescue the poor when he cries out, and the afflicted when he has no one to help him. He shall have pity for the lowly and the poor. The lives of the poor he shall save. Justice shall flourish in his time, and fullness of peace forever. May his name be blessed forever. As long as the sun, his name shall remain. In him shall all the tribes of the earth be blessed. All the nations shall proclaim his happiness. Justice shall flourish in his time, and fullness of peace forever.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus rejoiced in the Holy Spirit and said, I give you praise, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, for although you have hidden these things from the wise and the learned, you have revealed them to the childlike. Yes, Father, such has been your gracious will. All things have been handed over to me by my Father. No one knows who the Son is except the Father, and who the Father is except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son wishes to reveal him. Turning to the disciples in private, he said, Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I say to you, many prophets and kings desired to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it. The Gospel of the Lord.
The first reading comes from Isaiah 11, 1-10. This passage begins with a prophecy about a shoot springing from the stump of Jesse. Stump of Jesse, this is the royal family. Remember, Jesse was the father of David, and the idea is that this person who would arrive would enact justice in the world, that he would judge in favor of the poor, he would not be prejudiced, he would be filled with the Spirit of the Lord. And that Spirit is specified as of wisdom, understanding, counsel, strength, knowledge, fear of the Lord, and his delight is the fear of the Lord. Now this is where we get the idea of the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit. Actually, there are 6, and one of those gifts is repeated twice. But in the Latin version of this, where it says fear of the Lord, one of those fear of the Lords is interpreted as piety. So in the Latin version, we had 7 gifts. The 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit are not everything the Holy Spirit can give, but rather 7 examples of what the Holy Spirit can give. 7 being the perfect number means 1,000,000 gifts. And then in the second part of this passage, we hear about how the wolf would lie down with the lamb, etc. That there would be peace on God's holy mountain. If there's justice in the world, then even nature would rejoice in this. I've often heard it said that if you take a 30-day retreat, by about the 5th day, wild animals will start approaching you. They can sense the peace within your heart. And so here, what we have is an example of that peace that will affect even the world. Remember when Adam and Eve sinned, there was a division created between us and God, us and each other, and us and nature. Well, those divisions will be healed. The Gospel is from Luke 10, 21 to 24. Jesus thanks God for the fact that the childlike have received the revelation. They are often the ones who are able to receive it because they'll embrace it. Those who are intelligent, those who are rich, become self-sufficient. They don't need God anymore. The childlike are the ones who trust, the ones who open their hearts to accept whatever God sends their way. And then Jesus also talks to the disciples saying, "Blessed are you, for your eyes have seen what prophets and kings desire to see." That Jesus is the dawning of the kingdom in their midst. And so the very fact that he is in their midst means that the promises are being fulfilled. And as we approach Christmas, we should be looking around and seeing the various ways that God has fulfilled his promises in our midst, that God is already doing that which he promised to do. And we should rejoice in that fact. Not always looking for more, not always thinking that God owes us, but rather being filled with gratitude for the ways God has already responded to our needs. And may God bless us.